Okay, well, hi everyone. This is Ben Innisker, and what we're going to do in a series of videos is we're going to go through the process of sourcing a deal through brokers, and every step of the way through, in the very beginning, choosing a market to actually through every step of doing the deal until closing. So hopefully this is going to be helpful for you and instructive, and we'll start at the very beginning in this video, and that is choosing a market. And before we go anywhere in Loopnet, I just want to talk about kind of just a strategic approach I take to choosing a market, because when you're using brokers, it's very important which market you choose, because it depends, and what it depends on is the market cycle. Brokers are good in down markets, when you've had a peak, there's a correction, and now you've got deleveraging going on. You've got all of the properties that were leveraged to the hilt. They all cease to function economically now, and they've all gone back to the bank, and the bank is swollen with REOs, and it's now fallen upon realtors to turn those properties back into cash so that the banks can get back in business again and not be shut down by the FDIC, and still stay alive. So in down markets, you've got the situation where realtors, commercial brokers, are just besieged with listings, and they really need your help. You've got this situation where the supply of properties available for sale really exceeds the demand of investors out there with cash to buy them up, and they need your help as a wholesaler to come in there and get offers in on these properties and help clear them out. In this environment, it favors you as a wholesaler. You've got a downward pressure on prices. There's plenty of properties available for sale, and what we'll talk about soon is the exact point in this graph where it's ideal for you to be, because you want investors to resell to as well. The other situation that you'll find yourself in at the other end of the spectrum is where the market's running really hot, and that's where money's everywhere. You've had a lot of appreciation taking place. Everyone's grown used to the idea that properties just go up in price every year, and there's a kind of complacency that sets in. I'm sure you're familiar with that set of circumstances if you've been in the market for any length of time. And if you approach a broker at any stage from halfway through the expansion or onwards to the peak, it's very tough to get a deal. Commercial brokers, listings are providing ample exposure for properties to sell. The economic environment is that demand exceeds supply, prices are going up, you've got multiple bids taking place on properties, and if you're going into this situation as a wholesaler, it's virtually impossible to find any deal. The reality is brokers don't need your help. What they need is more properties, because they got plenty of buyers all around them with cash waiting to take anything that they call them with. So getting back to the ideal situation, as a wholesaler, you want plenty of properties available for sale. You want a downward pressure on prices, but you also want buyers moving into the market, seeing the opportunity, moving into the market with cash, wanting to buy properties as well. So the ideal place for a wholesaler to position themselves in a market, or the kind of market you're looking for, is a market that's about in this position. You've had the bottom, and maybe this bottom has gone on for a while, depending on the market. You've had the bottom, it's just starting to crawl back out of the trough of the market, and it's starting to recover. Right here in this position, you've got plenty of properties for sale. Prices are low, there's still a downward pressure on prices, but you've got investors starting to move into the market, starting to buy them up. So that's the situation that you're looking for. How do you do that in reality? Well, let's go to Loopnet, and there's a pretty straightforward way for you to actually flush out those markets and identify those markets by simply using Loopnet. And what we're going to do is just do a search on Loopnet using a few criteria. We're going to search for multifamily. We're just going to deselect mobile homes here because we just want multifamily. We're going to do all states, all markets, and number of units, we'll say 50 to 100. And cap rate, we're looking for low price properties or markets where you don't have that much year-on-year appreciation. So we're going to say 10 cap to 15 cap. Not that anything would run at a 15 cap, but we just want to catch anything in that range. And that's it. So we've got multifamily nationally, 50 to 100 units, 10 plus cap. So we'll run that search. Okay. So what we're looking for here in the search results, we're not really looking for properties. What we're looking for is multiple instances of a particular city. And what that's just going to indicate that a particular city has a lot of properties currently for sale through brokers. One or two, or one instance of a city, that doesn't really tell us anything. If we scroll down the listings here and we see a city popping up again and again and again, what that tells us is we've got a city with lots of properties available for sale in that unit range and the cap rate range that we put in. So that's going to reveal a market that we're interested in. So let's just scroll down and see what we find. I think I saw Tampa show up twice. Yeah, so we've got Tampa. We've got Tampa, Florida. So we've got Cincinnati, it's also turned up twice. Got Tulsa. Okay, St. Louis, Missouri. Okay, so that's all we're going to see in the free listings. We'll just check this final page. Yeah, you've got a paid Loopnet if you want to see any more than that. So it looks like what we have is Tampa, Florida, Cincinnati, Ohio, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and there was another one. So none with any more than 2 listings, but what we'll do is we'll just look into those markets a little more on the next video in order to qualify them a little further, using a little more research in order to see if they're markets that we're going to be interested in. Okay, that's the end of this video, and we'll see you on the next video.